Welcome back, everybody. This is Glockman4519. I am back with another ROM overview. This one here is for the OnePlus One. There are just so many to choose from. Damn. With this phone being as old as it is, and it's not really that old, about a year and a half, I guess. I just cannot believe the amount of development that is still out there for this device. It's just unreal. Now, granted, most of it is CM based. Um, um, Not a lot of AOSP stuff out there. Not a lot of off the wall kind of stuff. Although there are a couple ROMs that I've downloaded and installed, and I will be doing some videos on them. One of them, namely, is an Xperia or a Sony based ROM that was made just for the OnePlus One. There are a couple other ones that are CM based, such as this, that really stand out to me. You guys, this ROM is cool as they get. That's all I can say. We're going to go into About Phone. You're going to see this is a nuclear ROM. It's also, I've heard people call it nuclear slim. Some other names. I'm going to refer to it as nuclear. Okay, or nuke throughout this video. As you can see, it's for the OnePlus One. It's Android version 6.01. This is the latest build. This was released on the 1st of April. I think, yeah, 2014. 4.1. So actually, this is an older build. I should probably check to see if there's any updates to this. Build date. Yeah, I will check too, because that's kind of old, and there may be something out there that's a little bit newer than that. But to be quite honest with you, I don't think it needs any updates. Maybe some, if there are any security patches out there that need to be thrown in, maybe. This ROM's got it all together, in my opinion. It's all together. Developer options, we'll run down them real quick. You have your advanced reboot. Of course, you have your root access. You guys can choose on that. I am, of course, running SuperSU right here. And it is version 2.7.1. So, let's go back into settings here. But, I still make sure that is on. And if I'm not mistaken, that is actually ticked on. You don't have to go in and tick that on. Then, of course, you have your Android debugging. You want to make sure that's on. Above that, of course, is your CyanogenMod recovery update. If you guys are using that recovery, I don't. I use twerp. Then, of course, you have your local terminal bug shortcuts, all that stuff that goes with your debugging apps. Then you have your networking controls, on, down. You have your drawing. This is normally where you would find your multi-window. It is not here, though. It is in the other settings. And then all the way down at the bottom, of course, we have our Kill App Back button. If we scroll on up here, I'm not going to hit every one of these. I just want to hit the ones that have things that I think that you guys are going to want to see. These are your gesture controls. Of course, I have them all on, although music I don't listen to. I could just turn that one off. I do like it. So far, all the gestures are working on it. That's one thing I really missed about the OnePlus One. I'm glad to have this phone back. I am really falling in love with it all over again. Kind of sucks, though, that Dirty Unicorn development has stopped, at least by Mazda. And I get it. I understand why. But, I still think that this phone is a very viable phone. There are a lot of people that can't afford to go out and buy a brand new phone. They're buying phones like this from Swappa. It'll last them for another year or so. And I'd love to just see the development keep going for it. Off my soapbox, back into the ROM. here are your security settings. Of course, you have your unknown sources. Make sure that that is turned on. For those of you that are new to custom ROMs, this will allow you to sideload any app or install an app off of your SD card. You don't have to be in a custom ROM for this. This is also a setting in your stock options. Your stock options. Yeah, in your stock ROM, the options in that. And then you have your trusted credentials, and then of course all the way at the bottom you have your screen pinning. Let's see. Unlock settings. Not sure what that is. Oh, your screen lock, stuff like that. Live, your live wallpaper and that. Or sorry, your live lock. Yeah, that's different from your live wallpaper. Let's see. Notifications. These are going to be your heads up and all your settings with that. You can of course filter your notifications. Display and lights. You have your, of course, your adaptive brightness, all of that. Your rotations, your ambient display. That of course is when you pick the device up or bump it or move it, you're going to get that. You've got a message or something. So that kind of lets you know. It's nice, and it does work very well. You can also have it tapped awake, which I do like that feature. Prevent accidental wake up. I do have that on. It does work. It doesn't keep. The phone has not turned on in my pocket. My Nexus 6 turned on in my pocket, but this did not. Then of course you can set your wallpaper, your expanded desktop, LCD density, and on and on. For your battery light, this is the way they have it set up. You can set it up however you like. Another feature I like about the OnePlus One as opposed to my Nexus 6 is you can actually change these colors to whatever you want. And you don't get color bleeding. It actually turns to that color. Your LED light is what I'm referring to. And they blink. Let's see. I still love my Nexus 6 though. I love it. Then you have your sound settings, of course. You can link your link or unlink your notifications and your ringtone if you want. Right now I have them linked and quieted just for the video's purpose. I even put in none for my notification tone just in case. Here are your other sound settings. And then underneath that you have your launch music app, and then your, or that was just above that. Then underneath that you have all of your vibration controls. And man, the OnePlus has a hell of a vibration system in it. I usually turn it down to about 10. That's good enough for me. That's all I need. Alright, now to the good stuff. Your nuclear settings. And there are a pile of them. Status bar settings. Of course you have your clock and date, and you can color it. Thank you. Although I don't understand why it's not colored. That actually should be, and it was. It may be because I threw a theme on here. The theme might be screwing with it. Your status bar icons, you guys can pick and choose what you want on there. I have a lot of them turned off because I do not have a SIM card in. I am running this as a Wi-Fi, basically like a little tablet. Yes, I have tried it. I threw my Cricket SIM in there. It works great. Network trafficking, you guys can set that up if you want. Ingoing, outgoing. See, that's colored. I don't understand why the clock is not colored. I want to get rid of some of these notifications here. Let's see. Carrier label. You guys can put a carrier label on there if you want. I wrote nuclear. I kind of like that. Figured I'd put that in. Then, of course, you can have your Super Suit indicator showing. Also, you do have your logo. I really like the logo, and I went with that like lime nuclear green color. Then you have your 4G instead of LTE. You guys can change that if you are running with a SIM card, and I am not. Then, of course, you have your battery status style. I have mine shut off. I'm running with a battery bar. Couple reasons. First off, I don't want people remarking on how bad the battery is. I've had remarks on videos before. People say, my God, your battery life is terrible on that ROM. Well, yeah, you think that you have to take into account all of the things that are going on right now. I have my brightness all the way up. These videos are 15 to 20 minutes long, and I'm making a video. I'm using a lot of juice out of this battery. It's going to drain the battery quickly. It is not inherent to how the ROM runs or how the battery runs in its normal day-to-day use. Of course, you have your battery bar options. You can throw that on if you like to run with a battery bar. I do. So, of course, I have the battery bar on. You can show your weather options, your brightness control. All of that is there. Of course, you have your quick pull down, show notification count, persistent ad, tiles, icons. All of that's in there, guys. So it's great. I love all the settings I have in this. Here are your recent settings. You can show the search bar if you like. I don't. You can have a memory bar, clear all button. You can choose where you want that at underneath the clear all tasks. Then you have recents in full screen. I love that feature. So I do have that enabled. Underneath that, if you want, you can go with your slim recents. Again, for those of you that are new to slim recents, they are more of a KitKat style, where everything is over off to one side or the other, and they are more they're more like an open tile format as opposed to a layered tile format, and the Rolodex that multi-ROM, or excuse me, that Marshmallow and Lollipop are known for as default. Um, let's see here. Of course, then we have our gestures. These are your screen off gestures. We've already went over that. Then you have your gesture anywhere. If you guys use that, it is here. I do not use it, but it is there, and I'm glad that they give you the option to at least have it. And we have our animations. You guys that have, anybody that watches my videos know the only animation I like is the scrolling modifier. That is an exposed type setting. Alright, I'm back again. Sorry about that, guys. I had a phone call, and you know I do not edit my videos, so it's going to be there. But those were your animations. Then we have our buttons. You can go through here. You can enable your nav bar, which I do. I'm so used to my Nexus 6 now. I kind of like them nav buttons down there, and I don't even use the hard keys anymore. As soon as I flash a custom ROM, the first thing I do is look for this option and turn it on. Then, of course, you can set the backlight up if you want. I have mine shut off. Then you have your navigation bar settings. You can go to left-handed mode if you want. Show arrow keys. Then you have your buttons and layout. Of course, to move your buttons, you just hit the edit tile, physically drag the buttons where you want them, hit save, and you have them. I am going to put them back so I don't confuse myself. And there we are. Then you have your recents long press action. You can have that all set up to do with whatever you want. You have your power menu. A ton of features to choose from on the power menu. I love this developer. These are the kind of features I like in a ROM. I use my power menu more than anything to get around. Like other people uses recents or shortcuts, I use my power button or my power menu. Anyways, those are your options to choose from on that. Of course, you have your power button to end call. Press power button twice for the camera. Then you have your home button. You can set this all up into different ways. You make it your own, guys. That's what custom ROMs are all about. That's what I love Android. App sidebar, if you guys are into that. It's kind of like the circle bar, only it puts your apps on one side or the other. And you can pick and choose what you want, and they're just kind of like in a little bar. Then you, of course, Pi control. If you guys want to use it, there it is. That's Pi. I don't use it, but I left it on for the video. I probably should turn it off so it doesn't screw with the video, but those are your settings for that. Of course, then we have under security your privacy settings, and since this is a CM based ROM, you do have your privacy guard, your blocked caller list, signage and mod statistics, and of course your protected apps. Lock screen settings. This is going to be where you're going to set up your power menu on the lock screen. Your quick unlock, your shortcuts, all that. This is going to be where you set that up at. You can set up your music media cover art if you want. Your music visualizer, if you guys are listen to music and stuff. This is where you're going to do that up. Do your settings at and change that around. They do have the bottom shortcuts. You can change those around. I don't see middle shortcuts. Right there. This would be where you would add shortcuts to the middle. Now, I don't use shortcuts on my lock screen, so I'm not going to set this up, but it's very, very easy. All you do is hit the add button up here. It's going to ask you what you want to add. You could go, you could pick a activity, all this, here, or you could actually choose applications and pick one of the apps that you have installed. If you want whatever, you can put it on your lock screen. But I don't want anything on my lock screen, so that's just how I set my phone up. Then you have your wallpapers. You can set that up. Your weather options, of course, are here. Your show weather, your timestamp, condition icons, all that. This is where you're going to set that up at. Weather widget options, of course, is your clock and weather widget options. That's where you're going to set that up at. Let's see, miscellaneous, multi-window mode. See, I told you this is where it's at. Instead of your developer options, it is under here. Then you have, of course, your number of tiles and all that. Warning color. Disable force close notifications. I do like that feature. Then, of course, you have your advanced sound options. This is going to be where you can turn off or on your camera shutter sound or your screenshot sound. Let's see. Launch music app, media scanner, behavior on boot, and then the drill. I don't know what the drill is. Oh, yeah. If you're having an issue, guys, this is the drill. All right. Logcats. There are plenty of apps in the Play Store that will help you out with this, but the developers use logs. They can't read minds, but they can read logs. So if you have an issue, get a log of it, okay? And last but not least is going to be your kernel auditor. And I don't even have it in. I think I'm using Synapse, if I'm not mistaken. I want to go home because I'm almost positive. Yeah, I've got Synapse loaded, and that is what I am using as my kernel auditor. It just gives me much more control over the kernel. And listen, guys, if you do not know about kernel settings, just go with the kernel auditor and make your basic settings. If you don't know what a hot plug is, don't use it. Don't get in there. I've I used to be where I didn't know anything about kernel settings. Now I do. So that's why I have, of course, Synapse loaded. But of course, that's where it's all at. I can't say enough good things about this ROM. I really love the way this thing feels. If you notice, I will pull up my multi-ROM and I will show you the amount of ROMs that I have on this device. I had a lot more, actually. 64 gigabyte internal storage. You can dump a pile of ROMs on this. But out of all the ROMs that I have on here, I find myself booting to nuclear most often. I just love it, man. It's got everything in it that I want. Is it my favorite? It's. I don't like to say I have a favorite anything. I love them all. I love different features about different ROMs. Well, guys, again, that is Nuclear Slim. I like to just call it Nuclear, and this is for the OnePlus One. It's an old phone, but it is still kicking around and still probably kicking a lot of other phones' asses yet. So, good job to you, OnePlus, on that. Um, and if you guys liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next one.